Hello, everyone. We are here for coming into not quite our final week, but the final day beforehand of this FOF Season 5. Today, starting it off, we've got a matchup worst versus first right now in terms of standings. We have Pandas with hats versus Team Beat Boop.
And by the skin of this teeth, you are joined by...
Yeah, a little bit of speeding, but that's okay because I was able to with my trusted comrade escape.
Was barely able to escape law enforcement and make it here to make sure that I can yell at the screen for a little bit for you guys. Team Baby versus Pandas. It's an exciting game. I think I just want to quickly just poke fun at Brendan real quick. Still the listed coach, is benched at the moment, but it is nice to have the coaching staff in there. Has done a lot for this team, and as they continue to grow, you and I were we've seen this team grow a lot over the last few weeks on like a little bit more of a personal level. This is a team that's been working really, really hard to try and get better. We saw the success yesterday versus UB. I know that they don't attribute all of that to skill. A lot of it was in the draft. I think a lot of people see that as well. We're sitting on a lot of mid lane bans into P-Sweezy right now. Obviously, Luru does play that Vigar a little bit, but it looks like Pandas wants to take away some things from P-Sweezy, and not a surprise to see that first lock in of the Corki.
Yeah, and when it's so contested in mid lane, it makes sense. Corki, stop that pinch. B-Boop gonna respond with Diana, Yasuo, and that's a very potent combo that they're certainly going to be playing around in terms of team fights and big potential throughout the game. I've had the unfortunate pleasure of being Dax's Diana's punching bag for many scrims, so I'm kind of excited to see someone else deal with it, and that person that's going to have to deal with it is For a Good Time. And For a Good Time and Dax have a little bit of history. They were both competing to be the starting jungler for Baby this season, and I know Dax is feeling really confident about matching back up into For a Good Time, this time on opposite sides of the rift, and I'm sure For a Good Time is hungry for that win as well. Kaisa going to come through for Pandas with hats, very strong pick in that bot lane, but maybe a little surprised to see that before we see another ADC in the bot lane.
Okay, I am really liking the drafts that both these teams are putting together. Obviously, the Yasuo there can be flexed into the top lane or mid. There's been a lot of mid bans. Wouldn't be surprised to see it go there. Dax on that Diana going to be setting up, but we know that Diana-Yasuo combo is very strong. And I think you and I both know Corki Kaisa, heavy poke composition, Nautilus with the kill power in lane. That is a very nice draft that they have going on the side of Pandas as well. I'm really looking forward to seeing how these last two picks round out both of these comps, because they've got very solid cores at the moment. You'd want to see a little bit, I was going to say a little bit AP, but maybe just a better consistent damage on the side of Team Beat-Boop, but they haven't locked in their ADC yet, so that's not a huge problem. I'm expecting that fourth. Taken the Dr. Schmeckles Garen away, which I'm finding quite interesting. We've seen Schmeckles pick up that pick on a couple of occasions, has had some mixed results on it. Pretty sure the only player this season to pick that, if I'm wrong.
I don't believe you are wrong. I believe Garen is a Dr. Schmeckles special, and I actually had the chance to talk to Dr. Schmeckles before the game today about how he feels going up against one of the better top laners of the league in Jaffe. And honestly, he just said, I'm going to put the gauntlet down, I'm going to do what I always do, and I'm going to find a way to get a solo kill and make a difference up in that top side of the map. So we're going to have to see where those picks start to go as we finish up this second ban phase of the draft. Pandas attacking that ADC pool, trying to limit what Luru can play. Meanwhile, Beat Boot making sure Dr. Schmeckles doesn't get the Schmeck down up in that top lane.
I like the choices there. Both teams doing some targeted bans, trying to pinch a pool there, obviously pinching into Schmeckles and Luru's pool respectively. I'm expecting the ADC pickup here. You already have the counter pick available. I'd be very surprised if they didn't want to lock that in for Luru at this moment. But on the other side as well, as it looks like it might just be, bog standard Jinx. Very strong pickup. Obviously has a lot of wave control in that lane, but get caught up by that Nautilus. Things can start to get a little bit messy. Last two picks for Pandas with hats. What do you really want to see from them for these last two?
So for these last two, I mean, we still need to see what For a Good Time is going to play. And if there's one thing that I know about For a Good Time, from what I've heard from Dax, from what I've heard from other members of Pandas with hats, is that they have a very interesting champion pool, very non-traditional. And the only other game we've seen from For a Good Time so far is on that Shen. I really like Malphite as a lock for Dr. Schmeckles. Very safe, going to make sure that Yasuo is going to opt to go in that mid lane versus Corki, which I'm sure is a matchup that Corki doesn't hate too much. Should be able to farm mostly safely as long as the Yasuo just doesn't get in range to get on top of him. Should be pretty safe. And it is going to be Olaf. It's the hover for now for a good time. Getting some more consistent brawling is definitely something I like to see for Pandas with hats. It's not the most disengage heavy, which is what I would have hoped to see, but they do have a fair amount of that in the Malphite and the Nautilus, and, Olaf can throw some axes and avoid a lot of the CC that, Diana and Yasuo are putting out. And speaking of CC, Gragas is the answer to that Malphite in the top lane. For throwing down the gauntlet, it looks like it's going to be a bit of a tank fest up in that top lane. So, just going in and breaking down these compositions. Pandas with hats, really strong poke composition. Olaf, bit of an interesting choice in that jungle, but Diana Yasuo, especially with Leona and Gragas on top of it, Jinx can reset. Very potent team fighting comp from Team Beat Boop that is going to be about if they can find those team fights against Pandas with hats, and we're just going to have to see how that goes as we get onto the Rift.
Yeah, eyes for me have to be on that Diana Yasuo, like that is anybody who's played that with like an organized group or something, that you can be down 7k if you want, you can be up 7k, it doesn't matter. You're going to press both our buttons and people are going to disappear. Very tanky composition on the other side, though, and kind of a range distribution. So Pandas is going to have to be very careful as they rotate around, because they have kind of a designated frontline with that Nautilus, the Malphite, and even the Olaf, roughly going to be standing ahead. And then Kai'Sa, Corki, very, very high range. They're going to be a lot further back. So if Baby can find a situation where they can find large ultis, it's probably mostly going to be on the tanks, and it could be problematic. But if they get those picks onto those back lines, Pandas is going to explode, and it looks like both teams looking for a bit of an explosive opening as we all run 10 strong to the top side.
Yeah, we're going to have to see who's calling out who in this level 1. Honestly, I don't think either of these teams have amazing level 1s, but Nautilus Hook's certainly very potent. We're seeing the members of Baby stack up in that tri-bush, and we're going to have to see if it gets face-checked. It could be disastrous, even with a stronger level 1. Here it comes!
Yeah, and immediately, there goes Looking Purple just down nice and quickly. There's no chance for that one to get out of there. Another fall quickly from Subarashi. Hughes probably going to have to just wander your way out of there, and that is what happens. You meet that double AD threat that you have between that Jinx and that Yasuo, not to mention the Diana happy to auto-attack early, and there's so much damage. Basically no sums for other than those double ignites, but it is 2 early kills picked up for Baby.
Yeah, and especially with those 2 early kills, kind of never mind where the champions are going to be on, but I really have to favor Diana Yasuo in that composition because of its ease of execution. And, records will say that Baby is the better team and could execute a more difficult composition, but I think Diana Yasuo, especially with a Gragas in the mix for a little extra AoE knockup potential, should be pretty easy to enable P Sweezy to do a lot of damage, layer a lot of CC onto, we were talking about the range advantage earlier that PWH have drafted for themselves, but I'm not sure it matters if your entire front line as 3 is completely bursted down between Gragas, Yasuo, Diana, and Jinx rockets on top of it. It's going to be very interesting to see how the front line of the side of Pandas with Hat's place to deal with that one. But for now, I have to imagine that Baby's feeling pretty good, both about where they are in this game after the rocky start and how they feel about the draft.
Yeah. Scaling's going to be something interesting to look at right now, though. We do have our jungles pathing around. It looks like it's actually very quick clear from Looking Purple. I'm surprised with how fast that's going as Olaf. Do you want to talk to me about jungle clear speeds, where we're expecting these junglers to show up over the next, minute and a half?
Yeah, so both of these junglers have pretty fast clears, and I am a little surprised about how far behind Olaf Diana is falling. Generally, I think of Diana as one of the fastest jungle clears in the game, and granted, Olaf does still have to sink the time into those Krugs, while Diana's going to get that advantage of doing Blue and Grot at the same time, so maybe not quite as far behind as it's going to look.
This trade for Schmeckles doesn't look very positive right now. There's Flash still online for Jaffe. I don't know if he has the mana to keep the pressure up. But you're talking about how Schmeckles wanted to lay some stuff down in that top lane. Not measuring his trade too well there. Gets a little bit caught out.
Yeah, we're going to see both of these junglers finish their camps both at about the same time. Diana going to be about 5 seconds ahead from what I'm expecting and what I can tell without actually seeing those health bars. So that being said, they're both going to start to look at this bot lane. Both bot lanes have a support in Subarashi's Nautilus and Antunes Leona that have very powerful tools for engaging on the enemy and right that. It's actually going to be Olaf done first, and the first to arrive in this bot lane, we're going to have to see if they find a play, but no, it's turning towards the Scuttle. Diana should not be able to fight, but is very fast at clearing the crab, and as a result has a bit of an advantage over this. We're going to see Dax go in on top of the Olaf. Peace flash forward is going to find Olaf, and what I thought was for a good time, but the in-game name is displaying as Looking Purple, going to fall to Dax's Diana very early in this one.
Yeah, Looking Purple's just kind of looking gray at the moment. There's, like, you were talking about, hey, that duel should, play advantage to the Diana right there. Can't if you take that much damage first. And hold on, here's the sea layer and come down and Voltaic Penguin. That Ignite is burned, traded for the flash of that Kai'Sa. That puts you in a dangerous spot, and not having that flash available is going to be a much longer cooldown than, yes, that Zenith Blade instantly engaged, does find the sun, the CC down on Voltaic Penguin, now Subarashi trying to turn it. Antunes very, very low. Ignite is ticking right now onto Luru, bit of an early flash there from Subarashi. Everyone's going left, right, and center. Now Voltaic Penguin trying to chase down a little bit, and Antunes taking a little bit of an over-aggressive trade there. Puts Baby's bot lane, who, have looked very strong and sturdy for the beginning of this game, just a little bit behind. They have to take that recall.
Yeah, and they really want to press the summoner advantage that they just got on the earlier engage, and Antunes goes back in, but Subarashi does a great job at defensive play, making sure Luru doesn't have a single chance to pepper auto attacks onto Voltaic Penguin, and Subarashi on Nautilus is proving to be the tankier support in the early game. Unfortunately, a bit of a flubbed flash does not net them a return kill, but it is going to net them a nice CS lead and 0 summoners on either side of that bot lane, maybe indicating that both junglers got to be on their way, as we already see that before the laners are back in lane.
If I know anything about Dax, you're going to hear, 2 flashes get blown bot side, there's no heal available on Kai'Sa. Yeah, I might have a look down there. Dax is the type of player who likes to really punish those early game advantages, wants to be everywhere, wants to be a huge influence, and has done that so far this game. Was there for those early kills, and now Looking Purple. Might be looking for a way back to the fountain real quick, because there's the engage fountain from Dax. I think this will just be the kill. Not quite donated over to P-Sweezy. Thought maybe there's some gold coming his way, but Dax is going to pick up that kill, and that's going to be Baby rotating onto that first dragon.
Yeah, I kind of expected Yasuo of all champions, though meanwhile, Dr. Schmeckle's taking a very big trade up on that top side. Not going to result in too much, but Jaffe getting the lead in that one as the dragon falls. But yeah, what I was saying is I would have expected the Yasuo to be the one speedrunning to that 0-10 power spike. But it's actually going to be Olaf looking for an honorable death. Explosive cast comes out, and Jaffe knows the damage range, and Dr. Schmeckles is going to be deleted from the Rift.
Yeah, and you know what? I just had callbacks there. That reminds me of is AWE Slowbro in that top side picked this Gragas against Dr. Schmeckles previously and did exactly that. Just baited that wave in, let Dr. Schmeckles get out of position, chuck that cast, And we know that it's something Schmeckles doesn't respect, and here's Jaffe punishing it nice and early into this game, has himself a nice farm lead, picks himself up a second kill there just in the solo 1v1. Now looking purple, trying to make their way into the bot side right now. There is a level advantage. Do they know P-Sweezy is here, though? This is going to be an interesting 3v3. The aggression's coming through from Antunes. Does grab that CC up. Honorable take, Penguin. But look at how fast Antunes is falling. There's the first kill already picked up. P-Sweezy is continuing to run through. That Ignite does tick down. Oh! Knock up for the ulti. P-Sweezy picks up 3 kills in that bot side for Baby. And only Hube's there to clean up the wave.
Yeah, and honestly, both teams with really inspired plays coming out. I really like the lane gank from the side of Looking Purple, looking for that re-engage onto the very aggressive way that Antunes has been piloting this Leona, but P-Sweezy arrives into the fight and gets a sick outplay. Despite being surprised by the amount of PWH members in that bot lane, it doesn't matter because the tornado is AOE. And as a result, inspired play from P-Sweezy is going to net Baby an even crazier early lead. Antunes fighting the Zenith Blade, going to take down Dr. Schmeckles. And oh boy, this game is running away from Pandas very fast.
You know, there was a 1k advantage at the very beginning of this game. You know, just a mix of, you know, you don't have to reset if you don't die. But, you know, Baby was able to pick up those 2 early kills at 700. They pocketed themselves a couple 300 extra in the early phases. Subarashi looking for P-Sweezy right now. There is the wind wall. It's burnt kind of early there. There's the CC immediately found. Voltaic Penguin trying to come over and help his team out. There's the knock-up, but there's no ultimate available for P-Sweezy. And I think this will be another death picked up. Shutdown going on to Kaisa. Antunes is here, but he's by himself for the time being. Dax is trying to come over and help. Does have the flash. Ulti. Super Mega Death Rocket cleaned up, and bye-bye Pandas taken off the map. They might need to be putting some intensive care to get their population back right now. Is Looking Purple trying to look for a trade on Jaffe, and Jaffe's not too fond of that. There's the flash forward. The cask is found. Low HP on that Olaf, and that is 4 more kills picked up for Baby, as they're going to look at this 8-minute, 40-second Rift held quite healthily.
Yeah, and, you know, we're seeing Baby run over this game so far. I actually really like the pick onto P-Sweezy. It's a great way to try and accelerate Voltaic Penguin into this game. And once Antunes gets in, it's a little before Dax can get there, and they're not confident about how ahead Dax is. And Dax is so far ahead at this stage of the game, and you can't just keep fighting like that. You have to leave. So what was a solid 1-0 play for the side of Pandas with hats ends up even more disastrous, just like all the plays before. Dr. Schmeckles walking into a bush, going to find Antunes. Dax doesn't quite have a way over the wall just yet, so shouldn't result in anything big. But we're seeing P-Sweezy stepping a little far forward, going to flash out.
Yeah, no, I just want to say Antunes has just been everywhere this game. You know, like there's 13 kills right now. Antunes has been a part of 10 of them. Not even a majority in the bot side right now. Jaffe and Dax, their top side players, you know, they have a lion's share right now of the kills on the side of Baby. Not to mention Antunes has been pretty much, you know, picking up kills wherever he sees fit right now. Jaffe taking a trade with Dr. Schmeckles under turret. I think that will be the extent of it. And there it is once again. It's Antunes finding the engage. Purple trying to find a kill there, but Luru just grabs a reset off of that. There is a donated kill there. 0-6 Olaf. Not looking... You know, sometimes you see your junglers get into mind states. Some of you might have seen it in your own games where when they get far enough behind, they start to feel really desperate. And some people would, you know, say that their mindset changes slightly. I think that's kind of what we're seeing right now. Looking Purple, looking for a way out of this game at the moment. Just hasn't been able to find anything that's been working for him. And it looks like there's a dive set up on the bot lane. There's a reaction from Hubes with that package online, trying to come bot lane. Good hook from Subarashi, found on Luru. Does have to flash out of there. The Nautilus ulti still does connect. That package is coming down soon. There's the heal coming down from that Moonlight. And there it is. Hubes is into the fight. Does pick up that shutdown. Can you get out of there? No. Turns the fight onto Antunes. Has to burn Flash to get out of there. Subarashi with no way to chase that one down. And you know what? No deaths found. That is pretty well played. I think a little bit over tempo there from Pandas. Or excuse me, from Baby.
Yeah, and, you know, as much of this game has been a disaster so far, frankly, I really like the proactivity from the side of Pandas Pass. And, oh, no, but speaking of proactivity, Hubes, a little too far forward, not going to dodge the Silver Crescent, but not going to get caught up too much by that Pale Cascade. Stepping a little far forward, Antunes looking around, so not quite find him. He was playing that range, Razor's Edge, but this Mountain Druid is going to pretty easily go over to Baby.
There was a Prey Seeker, or excuse me, a Void Seeker in there trying to make things difficult. Hubes, once again, it is Antunes leading the charge for Baby right now, trying to make things uncomfortable for that Corki in the mid lane. And you know, you talk about proactivity. It was really, I think that was proactivity from you, or God, my names are everywhere at the moment from Baby. They all end in I. It's like, you know, 2000s names for children. They just all end in the Y. But it's like reactive play, I would say, for Pandas. You know, they're trying to say, like, hey, we notice people are off the map, let's get down to bot lane, try and cover this off. And they do get there in time, and it's been a lot of that onto
Oh!
Jeffy trying to style, can't quite pick up the kill. The flash is available. Looks like it's just gonna be the Q, cleaning that one up. Jeffy rampaging that top lane, and you know, Schmeckles was talking about picking up the solo kills. Haven't seen one yet. Jaffe doesn't want to give one over so far. 12 minutes in, deathless on this Gragas. Is kind of under pressure right now from Looking Purple. Is chasing down. That deathless might be about to change through that 700 gold shutdown. And finally, some a positivity for Looking Purple. Oh my goodness, it's everywhere on the map right now. Antunes with the Solar Flare, finding it on Subarashi right now. Half HP on that Nautilus. Does manage to get out wide with the ulti there from Luru. That one just didn't even look calculated, but it is a positive trade. That Jinx with the Kraken Slayer done does so much damage, and it is endless! Daxton in the mid lane, finding that setup on a Hubes who will fall. And look at this! Antunes continuing the dive under turret, has that Zhonya, stays alive. Luru won't have the same fate though, but that is 2 kills, and the wave dumped into turret, and maybe, finally, a chance for me to breathe.
Yeah, I think maybe starting to have a lot of fun with this one. They've got 8,000 gold lead at just 13 minutes into the game, and they're just going to run around and fight everybody. Because when you have that kind of lead at this state of the game, I mean, let's look around the rift, shall we? Up in top lane, Everfrost, Codex finished boots, 2 Abami Cinder, and an old Magic Mantle. Okay, let's look at the jungler. Full Rocket Belt, 8 stacks on a Dark Seal, to a Warhammer, and a Whip. Meanwhile, look up in this top side there, they're trying to look for Jaffe, but it's going to be really tough. The amount of CC and tankiness.
I think that Jaffe's going to have to, burn the cast. Does have that flash available, so we'll be able to get out of there relatively comfortably. There's more resources being burned in that top lane. You know what? I don't think Jaffe's done. Looking for more trades if they're available. They're walking up on purple. Does manage to cancel that recall. And look who's here. Look at the minimap. It's Antunes again, coming up into this top side. Will you be there in time to save your top laner? There's the Solar Flare coming out. Jaffe misplaying that Q a little bit. Schmeckles going in! Pick up the kill, he does it! Goes down to Antunes. Schmeckles finally keeping his word, as it were there. There's that Frozen Gauntlet. The Iceborne Gauntlet, what do we call it nowadays? The big blue fist. And I think that might be the end of Subarashi right now, walking a bit too far forward. Found by Dax. That is a kill picked up for Lure. Flash forward onto the Kaisa. Goodbye! Where was Voltaic Penguin? Never on the screen. Does go down nice and quickly, and Dax picks up his 7th kill of the game, that 10th stack on that Dark Seal. Hubes under pressure once again. Antunes, every single lane is his domain right now, picking up kills everywhere. 3, 1, and 12 on this Leona.
Yeah, I'm going to be frank with you. Pandas has to find a way to slow down this game. And realistically, a 10k gold lead at 15 minutes is insurmountable, but they've just been consistently too far forward, and Antunes been finding opportunities everywhere. And speaking of Antunes finding opportunities, we're going to see Looking Purple taking a lot of fire from P. Sweezy. And man, the Baby lives inside of Pandas with Hats jungle, and Looking for Purple already 6 deaths on the Olaf is going to be in so much pain trying to find any sort of gold at this stage. And Diana's going to be looking to back pretty soon to grab that cursed book, I have to imagine. Oh my goodness, Majai's Soul Stealer with the Dark Seal already at 10 stacks seems to be in the cards. I feel like you just have to, with the way this game's gone. I mean, it's safer to go with the Zhonya's Hourglass, but with this game state, I mean, this is about the best time as any time to go pedal to the metal and never take your foot off the gas pedal. I would be surprised to see him not.
Oh, hold on, flanked from Looking Purple, trying to get on top of Luru. There's the ultimate flash already comes down. There's the engage, and bye-bye, Luru. But there are members of Baby on their way over. Antunes, do you have the HP to survive this? Does use the flash up. Voltaic Penguin goes so deep. Trades kills for Antunes there. There's the ward placed on the corpse there. Now the engage from Jaffe, but surprise, Pandas, you're actually pinched. Dax picking up kill number 8 right now. 1 kill every 2 minutes for this Diana at the moment. Looks like a threat in Champion Select. How does it look now? 16 minutes in. And Diana Yasuo isn't even really the threat right now. It's just Diana.
Yeah, it's everybody from the side of Team Baby, to be honest. There's such massive gold leads in every single part of the map. They're going to pick up Ocean Soul Point, and once they get that, I think the poke composition for all the dreams of the poke composition that Pandas with that's drafted is going to fall apart. We're going to have to see if they try and take this. Hubes does have pack.
There it is, going in deep.
Low.
Oh, and look at the punish there from Schmeckles on the side as well. They're trying to go in so deep, but there's already 1-for-1 found. Dax, can you find this shutdown on Diana? 1,000 gold over to Looking Purple, but I think that will be the remaining members of Pandas getting taken down. Luru picking up a double kill with 1 rocket. Can Antunes find this engage onto Subarashi? Does grab the hook on the wall. There is the blue ward there for a reason. Slow with the solar flare. Antunes lands that Zenith Blade. Traps Shirley to come down. Great use of the blast code to push that back into your ADC. Luru, the silent star of this one, 8-3 on this Jinx, and has picked up 3 more kills. The dragon was taken away. There was the shutdown on Diana, but oh, it still does not look good for Pandas.
No, it doesn't look good, but if we look at that play in terms of, you know, monetary value gain, I think the gold goes about even with the shutdowns with this tower going through, and that's really good from the side of Pandas with hats. They need to try and accelerate Corki and Kaisa to these item spikes where they start becoming poke menaces and they can start to try and deny the engage that Baby have been putting out this game. And honestly, taking away that Ocean Drake, a really good smite from the side of Looking Purple, is going to be very important as this game goes on. Just like I said, Ocean Soul is going to basically turn off the poke composition that Pandas with hats are drafted for themselves. So even though things are still in, you know, about as dire of a situation as they can be, that play does accelerate Pandas with hats towards, you know, towards their ideal game state.
2 items down on Olaf. It wasn't nothing. You know, Looking Purple isn't going to be like a hyper carry this game, but, you know, if you can put something scary, you know, if Olaf can do half the HP of any member of Baby, that's pretty good, because you've got Kaisa and you've got Corki poking them down gradually. You can get the assisted engage from Subarashi, from Dr. Schmeckles with those respective ultimates. You know, it's dire. I wouldn't put my channel points onto Pandas, as a few of you have, but it's not like it's a no, you know, they could take fights. They could find some gold back. This composition does scale. Kaisa and Corki, we're talking about simplicity of execution. You don't even have to execute anything on those 2 champions. You just need to throw your skill shots out. Eventually they'll hit. P-Sweezy can only throw out Windwall that so often. 3 in the bot side right now for Pandas, trying to defend from 4, but do they know that Antunes is in the wing there with Dathiak standing on a ward? Jaffe taking trades with Schmeckles on the top side. Still no reaction yet. Looking Purple finally here. Good flash out there. Oh! Excuse me, the disengage from Hubes. Look at the knockup. Luru get forced to disengage. Dax goes down again. There's the knockouts from P-Sweezy trying to find a disengage. Looking Purple trying to find a way in onto this team. The Void Seeker is blocked out by P-Sweezy, but you can't keep this Olaf off. Big engage there from Voltaic Penguin to pick up the second kill. That axe does not connect. Surely one will. That's what they're looking for right now. Luru kiting back. The damage coming through. Jaffe taking that Rift Herald and TPing down. Excuse me, dropping that Rift Herald. And now Looking Purple is looking to run away. Their purple carry of Kaisa has already fallen. Hubes forced to kite back. Jaffe with the Everfrost. Can you get the kill into Jaffe? Yes, good flash to trade away. And that is, oh, so low onto both P-Sweezy and Luru. Hubes, the only survivor of that fight. And I think that one was 3 for 3 at the end of the day. You take that if you're Pandas. But will they continue to be allowed to take those? It was a bit of an overextension from Dax.
Yeah, and to be honest, it was a 4v5. Dr. Schmeckles never showed up to the fight, and Jaffe did, and therefore going 3 for 3 at the end of the day, massive from Pandas. They'll take these even fights day in, day out. Corki hopefully going to back and finish that Luden's Echo, and then is going to really start chunking out that damage. Kaisa getting gold as well. Super valuable. We see a bit of a garage sale build. Dax looking for Dr. Schmeckles, caught a little too far forward. Is the ultimate going to have to be burned? Dr. Schmeckles burning the red buff. Unstoppable Force will not stop the red buff burn from ticking down, and Dr. Schmeckles goes down for a 6th time this game.
I'm sorry, Shmecky. It was a good attempt trying to get out of there. Baby looking like they're rotating towards this dragon, which crucially was stolen previously. I don't think we gave that one enough emphasis when it happened. The fact that that dragon did not go into Yubi's pocket, the fact that they're not looking at an Ocean Soul point at the 22-minute mark right now, so valuable for Pandas. That's at least 5 more minutes that you get to hang out right now. Hubes might have to be hanging out in the fountain if you walk too far forward there, my friend. Doesn't want to get too close to that dragon pit. You have to know that it is infested with the red team members right now. Jaffe up on the aggression right now. Looking Purple on their way down. Cube's trying to fight over some vision control right now. This is going to be crucial. They do find the
Whoa!
jungler of Pandas. Dax finding that engage does go in onto the Olaf right now. Antunes over the wall. There's no flash on this Olaf regardless. Can you get out, though? Good use of the blast cone to get Antunes off, but you can't use it for yourself. And looking purple, actually surviving. There's no super mega death rocket. Does Baby go to Dragon, or did they want to look for Baron?
I think they're just going to settle for the Dragon for now. Getting out Ocean Soul is going to be so critical to them, and there's a lot of poke from the side of Pandas with hats that force them off of the extended objective take, so I really like the more conservative decision of going here. Schmeckles might find themselves in a world of trouble. Nope, Dr. Schmeckles barely avoiding that death push from the side of Baby, and now is their time where they feel like they might just be able to go walk to Baron.
Important pickup right now. The Gnasher's Tooth is done for Voltaic Penguin. Doesn't really skyrocket your damage, but it skyrockets your cooldowns. For anybody who's unaware, it's 100 AP off of that Gnasher's Tooth. It is exactly enough to give you that upgrade on the W. Hold on, looking purple. Without that ultimate this time, there's no ghost available. Dax finding that engage. There's the survival. I'm very surprised looking purple once again getting out of those situations. That is that extra tankiness you're getting from that death stance. And that Olaf is able to survive once again. Here's the engage from Hughes onto P. Sweezy. Unstoppable during that backwards. The assistance coming through from Voltaic Penguin, but you can't hit through that wind wall. There's TP coming through right now. Look at this aggressive play from Voltaic Penguin trying to kill off the ADC, and they do find Luru, but it is a 2 for 4 shutdown found on the Luru from the Punisher of Dr. Schmeckles, but I think that's all they will find. And now 1v3, Schmeckles is being asked to defend this. Doesn't have the ultimate available. There are no ultimates available for any of the alive members of Baby right now. They don't seem too concerned about it. They're getting on top of this inner turret. Schmeckles just kind of, he is the rock in the hard place at the moment, trying to bat away these members of Baby. Did not rotate onto Baron. They don't want to get that without either of their two carries, and well defended from Pandas.
Yeah, well defended. I think that fight is a really sick outplay from P. Sweezy, using that wind wall to great effect from both sides. Makes it so that Voltaic, Penguin, and Hughes have to dive so deep and go 1-for-1 to pick up that kill, which means Voltaic, Penguin, a champion, this Kaisa really wants to play it in an extended range and just is right up in the face of the enemy team, and Baby is certainly happy to deal with that. When if you're in Jinx firing range, you are in danger for sure from this Baby composition. Jinx being 11-4 right now outputs so much damage, so it's hard to say if it's a misstep in the fight, but it's certainly why they lose in that end of the day, and we're gonna have to see if Voltaic, Penguin, and Hughes can start laying down this poke. They're going to have to if they want to stop this Baron take.
Well, it's going to be really difficult from the bot lane right now. Voltaic Penguin on the wrong side of the map, and that is going to be the cue for Baby to start off this Baron take. Like you say, Schmeckles in the wings there does have every ultimate online for pretty much, yes, I believe everybody in the game right now. There's going to be a fight. It's going to be explosive, but they have to get Voltaic Penguin there soon. Subarashi trying to find a way into the pit. Hughes poking out, but the Baron is taken by the ultimate outsmiting Dax. And now Pandas is here. The huge amount of damage from Dax on the backline carries is able to take one down there for Hughes. Looking purple, running amok at the moment. The ultimate is found from P. Sweezy. Do you win this 1v1 though? That Olaf is so strong. Yes, they do. A quadra kill for Sweezy. But somehow, Schmeckles takes the Baron, and that might keep Pandas alive for a minute longer.
Yeah, we have to watch this steal. What timing from the Schmeck Doctor. On this Val fight, unstoppable force, you cannot stop Baron Steel from coming through, and we see the members of Pandas finally converging, and Dr. Schmeckles, I don't even think wanted the Baron, just looking for the 3-man knockup, but the timing is so perfect. But Dax is able to find a critical moonfall onto two members, the critical two members being Hughes and Voltaic Penguin. Penguin drops immediately. Hughes able to get out a little more damage, and looking purple, it's really hard to win a 1v3, especially when you've hit that 10 death power spike I was talking about earlier. We're going to have to see how that 10 death power spike ends up working out. I know there's a lot of mythos around hitting that, but on Olaf, we'll have to see.
Yeah, there's a Yasuo in the game. Maybe it'll have some influence. There's only 2 caster minions there at the moment, only 8 seconds on Voltaic Penguin and on Dr. Schmeckles. Subarashi up even sooner. I don't know if they're even going to get an inhib off of this. At the end of the day, it's 4 kills found onto the Yasuo. Not bad. I think anybody would take that given the opportunity as long as the Yasuo is on your team. But, it's a pretty decent trade as far as you're concerned for Pandas. They get basically the same amount of gold from just taking that Baron. and you don't lose any inhib turrets. They don't have the Baron to continue to pressure you for the next 2.5 minutes. It's far from optimal. It was a great ult from Dax, but hey, here we are now. And Pandas is still in this game. We were told this is going to be a 25-minute stomp. Those were the words out of Dax's mouth. 25 minutes is how long they thought this game was going to last. 26 minutes, and the game could break open at any moment right now. Maybe around this dragon right now. We got a minute on Soul coming up, and it has to be Pandas that picks this up. They have no chance in my mind to win this game if they don't either A, get an ace right now and win there, or pick up, reduce or just take away that Soul.
I'm concerned about the map movements from the side of the Pandas with hats right now. Dr. Schmeckle's in that top lane. I'm not sure if Unleashed Teleport's going to be up in time. Looking purple. Caught too far forward. Soul Flare forces out the Ragnarok, and we're looking for the engage. Subarashi looking for the hook, but it doesn't land. Hughes putting out so much damage, but Windwall soaks up all of it. Explosive cast means that Hughes is in danger from that Yasuo ultimate beat full take. Penguin caught on the wrong side. Has Killer Instinct sideways for the shield. Gets nothing. It's now 3 remaining members for the side of Pandas with hats, and everybody from the side of Baby still alive. Super Mega Death Rocket going to go sideways, but Unstoppable Force finds Blue. There's an opportunity. Hughes looking to get out the damage, but it's mostly zoned off from Jaffe. Dr. Speckles and Superashi trying to do a little bit of damage. They can, but cannot. Hughes going to get caught by Moonfall. Dax putting out the damage and is going to put an end to this fight. Oh my goodness, Escape. What a game.
Greedy. Once you find that 1 kill on the Jinx, as long as you can walk that, the pairing of Subarashi and Hughes out of there, you might not get to keep Schmeckles. It's worthwhile, because you're not going to lose everything. But here we are. There's no way for them to get to this dragon at all. There's no way they can try and cover that. There's no way that they can deal with everything here. They've already lost the bot turret right now. Jaffe should be able to comfortably take this dragon. Maybe I'm overstepping with that. Full AP Gragas doesn't quite have the tankiness that you might think it does, but is going to be able to take that one down. This duel is once again won by Jaffe. But it's too much. Pandas was, okay, we have a way back into the game here. We've killed the Jinx. Not really acknowledging that Hughes has no health left. Subarashi doesn't do any damage, and neither does Schmeckles. And though they do find that kill on the Luru, it kind of spikes that dopamine a little bit too much for Pandas. They go in too hard. Now we're facing that detriment of the Ocean Soul that we were talking about earlier. This poke composition really hasn't gotten to breathe any life yet. Third item finished on Kai'Sa might or should allow that, but the Ocean Soul is going to make that very difficult right now. Looking purple, very aggressive in the bot jungle right now. Antunes is going to find the engage. Ragnarok is there. He's going to have to run out of there, but there's that cooldown burnt. Dax looking for a way in onto Hughes. Does trade back very nicely, but ooh, yeah, okay, so there's a lot of damage, but that Ocean Soul's going to heal them back up, so you've only got so much time to work with it. Not going to land that Void Seeker. Would have been good.
Yeah, so the thing about Ocean Soul is that it only gives you HP when you're hitting things, and if both teams are sitting around an objective and the pokes coming out, I'm thinking the vibes of the New Wave Tsunami game where they had Kai'Sa. Sunny was piloting that one. In a scenario like that, it might be able to work, but the problem is that in these siege situations, you're going to find yourself in a world of hurt.
Cubes is already down. Once again, another kill picked up. Big Moonlight onto the back line. There is no one remaining. It is a 5-for-0, cleanly engaged by P-Sweezy. Jaffe's going to be the first one in that base, and I think at a 51 kill, 30-minute game, nothing like that previous game that we saw. It was something like 16 kills over half an hour. Is going to be picked up by Baby. There is no way that Pandas is going to be able to hold on here. And Baby picking up their second win of the weekend. This has been a big one for them.
Yeah, and what an absolutely bloody game. Baby had to have so much fun with this one. I know I would if I were literally any of the characters on their team. It may not be the 25-minute win that they hoped, but it was certainly a dominant victory coming in at about the 30-minute mark. Wow, what?
I'm not surprised, per se. Maybe with the numbers exactly. I mean, I think most people looking at this, you're looking at the top of the table versus the bottom of the table. You're expecting Baby to take this one. That no one should be surprised by Baby having an advantage here. But this much, it was very, very close for a minute there. To Pandas having to way back in, but that close began at the 10k gold deficit, right? It was a little bit too late. They got caught out way too much in the early game. That level 1 hurt them, but you can't blame that for the whole game. It was the better map rotations from Dax and Antunes. Big time on Antunes. 36 assists, 40 KP on the game for Antunes. Massive from that Leona.
Yeah, and I also want to shout out Dax on the Diana pretty impressive target selection and able to find seemingly Moonfall after Moonfall onto both critical carries from the side of Pandas with Hats that should have been playing too far back to get, but hey, when you've got a pretty fat gold lead in Rocket Belt and Flash, it kind of comes naturally, I suppose. And pretty solid win for Baby. I mean, an expected win, but it's going to propel them forward in the standings, and specifically towards that goal of locking in a first round bye. Now, getting that win puts them very close. Going to have to rely on a couple other games to go their way, but looking pretty good for that. As far as Pandas goes, it's a bit of a misstep. Sitting at 2-10 now, they're really risking not being able to make playoffs, and the next game is going to say a lot about that, as we're going to see New Wave Tsunami, the 6th seed, versus Art of War Esports, the 7th seed, face off and show who's going to be in the lead coming in to this final bit of the playoff race. That being said, we are, before that, going to get an interview from one of these members from the victorious Baby, and I can't wait to hear from them. I'm sure they had a great time. We'll be right back.
Alright folks, hello, Chris Edgeworth here for our first interview today, joined by P. Sweezy, victorious mid laner from Team B-Boop. Baby, how's it going, man? How you feeling?
It's going pretty good. I'm feeling pretty great.
So let's talk about the draft that you folks came into this game with and what you're up against. I really liked seeing the Yasuo unbenched, didn't hit that 10 death power spike, unfortunately, but still a great showing on the Yas, and then the Gragas matchup in the top side for Jaffe. And then you were matching up across against Corki. What are your thoughts overall on the drafts that you folks put together and what you ended up against?
So our whole plan going into the draft was just we want to force their mid laner onto Corki. We wanted that Yasuo Diana. That was our whole goal going in. And so when they just willingly banned a bunch of mid laners, and we banned a bunch of mid laners, and then he just picked Corki, we're like, all right, okay, cool. We're just going to pick this Yasuo Diana like we want.
Nice. Yeah, well, the game overall was a bit of a banger. It was 51 kills on your side and 18 kills on their side in a 30-minute game, 29-49 no less. So, what were your thoughts of your team and the comms like in this pretty energetic game?
The comms were really good. It was a lot of it was we can win this fight. Let's just go.
And you guys just felt like you folks had the upper hand throughout this entire game, at least from perspective of watching it. It seems like you guys were, as you say, just like completely unafraid to just flip it every time. I think a little bit of it is the diagnosis for Pandas with Hats is that maybe they should have not opted into flipping it as much. The slow game down. This is what they were talking about on the cast desk. Get the tempo of the game to slow down a little bit so that maybe the dragons don't stack as hard and as fast against them. All right, well, P-Sweezy, before we step away, I do want to give you an opportunity to share with us any final thoughts you'd like to leave with us on the desk, any shout-outs, any banter, anything you'd like to say.
Not really.
All right, man. Well, thanks for the interview. Congratulations, Team Baby. And folks, we're going to take a short break, but we'll be back with our second game tonight, so don't go too far.
Ça fait un tout vraiment magnifique, même adulciné m'ayant planté là, c'est à moi que chante tout ça.
Mr. Bam will stay behind, and he will perform one of the most popular piece of music in Asia, especially in Asian heritage.